Good morning, Northern Michigan. It's 5:29 on your Monday morning, and it's already a nice day out there. When I was outside this morning, it felt unusually warm. With some more summer-like weather back after this cold weekend. This weekend, I wore pants for the first time probably in a few months.
I was all bundled up. I kind of liked it though. It was kind of fun to have like a sneak peek into fall, but I'm kind of ready to head back to the beach maybe this weekend.
Well, you love fall too, though. You love those fall.
I love all of it.
It's 7:26. An accident on a busy highway left a semi-trailer standing on end and shocked drivers with nowhere to go.
From Higgins Lake, who is celebrating his first birthday. Hope you have a great day.
So cute. And growing up on Michigan this morning, we have Seth from Harrison celebrating his 10th birthday and looking just as adorable as he did when he was 1.
Absolutely. Happy birthday.
Good evening, I'm Jodi. This is 9 and 10 News at 11.
Meteorologist John Grell says we're getting into the new week. We will be tracking another chance for some rain by the time we do reach our Wednesday. We'll talk about how much we could expect for the rest of the week coming up.
Memorial Day is a time to remember those who lost their lives in service. I'm Megan Huskins in Traverse City. Coming up, how veterans ask you to honor those who went before us.
And not just in northern Michigan, all over the U.S. ceremonies were held to honor our fallen soldiers, including at the Arlington National Cemetery, where hundreds of thousands that made the ultimate sacrifice are buried. The Commander-in-Chief, President Donald Trump, speaking at the event. And the Memorial Day holiday also marks the start of the summer season at many campgrounds, including here in northern Michigan. How campers are spending the Memorial Day holiday. Those stories and much more now on Northern Michigan's News Leader. President Donald Trump and members of his administration commemorated Memorial Day at Arlington National Cemetery. Trump then delivered remarks from the cemetery's amphitheater. The president, in his speech, paid tribute to veterans who, quote, made the ultimate sacrifice for the nation. Erica Brown has more in tonight's top story. Officials say people in southeastern Kentucky need to remain vigilant. They say a shooting suspect could be on the run there, and he might be armed and dangerous. 7:28 on Michigan this morning. Looking ahead to our next half hour here on Local 32. At 7:31, we bring you an update to the tragic school shooting that took place in Georgia last week, resulting in 4 deaths. And at 7:39, an overview of the second annual International Firework Championship that took place over the weekend at Turtle Creek Stadium, and which country took home the big win, all coming up next. But first, it's time to check in with Haley with a look at today's forecast, and I think it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be beautiful. Look at the skies already. Doesn't that just make you happy on a Monday morning to wake up to that?
If it's got to be a Monday, at least the weather's nice, right?
Exactly.
The latest jobs report comes in slightly under expectations, but up from the previous month. Experts say all signs point to a cooling labor market that may finally be reaching some stability. Labor Department data shows the U.S. added 142,000 jobs in August. That's up from a revised and disappointing 89,000 in July. Construction tacked on 34,000 jobs, getting a boost from heavy and civil engineering work in the bipartisan infrastructure law. Healthcare added 31,000 jobs, and unemployment ticked down to 4.2%, the first dip since March. This is the last jobs report before the Federal Reserve's big meeting later this month, and it tees up the Fed to issue a long-awaited rates cut. Harvard University is being targeted once more by the President of the United States. In a social media post Monday morning, Donald Trump taking another shot at the university. Sherelle Hubbard has more details. Northern Michigan restaurants say they're ready for the summer tourism rush with a successful Memorial Day weekend behind them. This summer will be the first that businesses have to work with newly implemented tip wage laws, which went into effect in February. Currently, the hourly tip wage is $4.74, up about 25% after starting the year at just over $4. Under the original law, the tipped wage would have jumped nearly 50% to $5.99. Restaurant owners like Megan Cox from Sleater's Family Tavern says the smaller wage increase has helped them adopt the new policies without disruption. The original law would have started a complete phase out of the tipped wage, a policy that many servers warned could have decreased their take-home pay due to higher operating costs and changes in customer behavior. But businesses say their Memorial Day traffic bodes well for the months ahead. And Chippewa County deputies say speed and alcohol played a role in a deadly crash on Drummond Island. Deputies say the crash happened Monday night just after 8 on Warner's Cove. The sheriff's office says the driver left the road, hit a culvert, and crashed into some trees. Deputies say the driver died at the hospital and his passenger has life-threatening injuries. Both men are from Drummond Island. And the Newaygo County Sheriff's Office says 3 juveniles were tied to a pair of break-ins in Croton Township. The first happened around 8 Monday morning at the Croton Easy Mart. Deputies say 2 juveniles went into the Easy Mart and stole several items before taking off. They were later identified and one was arrested walking along the roadway. The second break-in happened just after noon when deputies got calls about 2 juveniles breaking into vehicles. Deputies say one of the juveniles involved was also involved in the Easy Mart break-in. All 3 were eventually released to their parents. Reports from both cases will be sent to the county prosecutor. And take a good look at your screen. Kalkaska County deputies are looking for this man. They say he's connected to a home invasion investigation they're working on. Deputies say the home invasion happened Friday night, but haven't given any more details other than that. If you know who this man is, you are asked to call the sheriff's office. And as Cadillac and other communities in Wexford County deal with PFAS contamination in their private water wells, EGLE is holding a town hall to talk about their investigation. For months, the Michigan PFAS Action Response Team has asked residents to sample their wells. Now the state is going to share those results as well as take questions on PFAS in Wexford County. 9 and 10 News will live stream this town hall this Thursday, May 29th from 11:30 in the afternoon to 1 p.m. You can watch that live stream over on Zeem on our 9 and 10 Plus channel. And President Trump is escalating his clash with Harvard University, where he's expected to pull the plug on millions more in federal funding. This would be a cancellation of all federal contracts with the university to the tune of roughly $100 million. The White House giving the directive to all federal agencies to identify any contracts with Harvard and determine if they can be canceled or redirected elsewhere. This move comes after the president posted on Truth Social over the holiday weekend that he was considering taking $3 billion of grant money away from Harvard and instead reallocating that funding to trade schools. And in England, celebration quickly turned into tragedy at a parade for Liverpool's Premier League soccer championship victory. British authorities say they have arrested the man they believe drove a minivan into a crowd of fans at the parade in Liverpool. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer called the scenes appalling and thanked police for their quick response.
The car stopped at the scene and a 53-year-old white British man from the Liverpool area was arrested.
Good evening. I'm Jodi Neeson. This is 9 and 10 News.
I'm meteorologist John Grouse. As we continue on into midweek, we will be tracking chances for some more showers to return. We'll have a full look at forecast and how much rain you could expect coming up.
Memorial Day commemorations taking place all over the U.S. today, including at the Arlington National Cemetery, with Commander-in-Chief President Donald Trump in attendance. How people are honoring our fallen heroes.
I'm Megan Huskins in Traverse City. Coming up, the community has come together to honor those men and women who lost their lives in service.
Along with the Memorial Day commemorations comes the Memorial Day sales, how businesses are doing in northern Michigan, and how it attracts tourists for the start of the busy summer season. Those stories and much more now on Northern Michigan's News Leader. Memorial Day is the day we honor the men and women who lost their lives fighting for freedom. And the Grand Traverse Veterans Coalition held their annual service at Veterans Memorial Park in Traverse City. Many people from the community came to show support and pay their respects. And tonight's top story, 9 and 10's Megan Huskins spoke with veterans about what this day means to them, the families who have lost loved ones. And the Cadillac community paid tribute to the nation's fallen heroes with its annual Memorial Day parade today. It was a beautiful day for spectators to line the street, showing appreciation to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. The Cadillac Area Honor Guard hosted the parade that drew a large crowd and featured local veterans, military units, and community groups. Parade goers say it's a great way to remember our heroes. John. As the official start to summer, camping is a popular way to spend Memorial Day weekend to kick off the warm weather. Thousands of people made their way to northern Michigan, and many of them choosing to enjoy the great outdoors. Campers flocked to Mitchell State Park in Cadillac for their northern Michigan fix. There seems to be nothing like sitting around the campfire enjoying s'mores, and for most, it's about a slower pace of life. And Michigan State Police wants to remind those traveling today to be safe and follow traffic laws. Coming up on 9 and 10 News, we remember the historic tragedy in Bath, Michigan, where dozens of people lost their lives nearly 1 century ago.
So the week warm enough to where we don't have to really worry about some frost. Early look at the upcoming weekend, sunny and warm.
Looking good. And still ahead on 9 and 10 News, see how the little town of Bath is paying tribute to fallen soldiers and remembering a tragedy that took the lives of dozens 98 years ago. Just northeast of Lansing and Bath, people are remembering the country's fallen soldiers. But the community is also remembering the lives of children and school staff claimed nearly 100 years ago. On May 18th, 1927, tragedy struck when a man named Andrew Kehoe detonated a series of bombs at his home and the local school. In the end, he killed over 40 people, a majority of them small children. An additional 58 people were hurt. Kehoe was angry after he had lost an election for town clerk, and he was facing foreclosure on his home. The attack remains the deadliest on a school in America. We'll be right back after the break. You're watching 9 and 10 News. With Memorial Day kicking off the summer season, stores in northern Michigan are starting things off on the right foot by hosting sales. One store located on Front Street in Traverse City, Lakes and Grapes, was hosting a 15% off sale. The owner says sales like this help bring more people to the store. Lakes and Grapes hosted their sale all weekend in store, and with certain purchases, they gave away free items from the store. Today is the day that we honor our veterans that made the ultimate sacrifice. We'll take a look at commemoration ceremonies taking place all over the U.S. and also how we're remembering our fallen soldiers here in northern Michigan. Plus, the weather cooperated for the holiday, but there could be some changes ahead later in the week. What's in the forecast coming up? And the Memorial Day holiday is the unofficial start of the summer season. How campers in northern Michigan spent the Memorial Day weekend. Tonight on 9 and 10 News at 11. Memorial Day weather and what to expect for the rest of the week. A look at the Memorial Day events that honor our fallen soldiers taking place all over the U.S., how the heroes were remembered nationally and in northern Michigan.